just kept on hitting 65 and going beep, beep, beep. And I'm sick of it. So across this canoe tree, and you wonder why it's called a canoe tree, because it's got a sign that says Canoe Tree. And the miners would be in this one here going down, and their ore would be in the one next to it. So day one of series 2 of our OZLAPN adventures.
And it's freezing,
and it's cold,
it's raining,
and it's wet, and this is one of the reasons why we're leaving Victoria and looking for some nice warm sunny weather hopefully. So we'll just have to wait and see, Joey.
Yes. Onwards and upwards, that's where we're going.
Yeah, so
up to the warmth.
So the plan is to go right up the centre, not the centre of Australia, but the centre of New South Wales. We'll probably push out a couple of long days first just to get to the warmer weather. But it's going to be good leaving Victoria through Echuca, so we'll see how we go.
Yep.
See ya.
Leave this weather behind, I think.
Yes, hope so.
Okay. I'll see you soon.
It's still raining.
And raining.
Echuca, 45 kilometres. Rochi, 16. New South Wales, Murray River. Goodbye Victoria, we're out of here. Harlequin 59, Hay 182. Oh, what's going on here? Hello. Hey Joe. What's your name? Oh, okay. Nice to meet you. See you, mate. There's a few here.
Some interesting rust work. It's the Headless Horseman. What are you doing? Having a cup of tea?
No, so what happened was I had the tire pressure monitor set on 65, and I reckon I probably had just over 60 PSI in them, and they just kept on hitting 65 and going beep, beep, beep. And I'm sick of it, so I'm going to take them back down to 60 now, and we'll have no more beep beeping.
Oh, that's good.
Yes. So it's all happening.
Oh, wonderful.
So the idea here is, come over here, is to take the valve out like that. So the valve comes out like that. And then we check, see we're up here, so we need to take that down. And that's about it there. And this one goes back in. This is Sandy Point camp at Hay, or just outside of Hay. And I've just noticed this red gum here. It's probably one of the biggest ones I've actually seen. Sandy Point, picnic tables and shelters all the way around, and up here as well. You've got your gas barbecues, more gas barbecues over here, and toilets. Toilets are really clean. The camp's free, very big area, a little bit boggy in places, but all in all, a great camp. So we're actually camped at Sandy Point Hay, camps over here, but we've come across this canoe tree, and you wonder why it's called a canoe tree, because it's got a sign that says Canoe Tree, and that's where our First Nations people would have made a boat.
No kidding.
No kidding.
No kidding.
To go down the Murrumbidgee River, which is just running along there. So Joe, you glad we came this far north so we could get away from the cold of Bendigo?
It was colder here.
It was actually colder here, but luckily...
It was supposed to be -3 this morning.
Yes, well...
But it got to -1, that was bad enough.
Yeah, luckily we got a gas heater, but the main reason is that there's no cloud cover, which today is going to be a bit of a bonus once that all burns off. So we're just going for our morning walk. So Sandy Point's just around the corner here. This is the Murrumbidgee River. That's the main road bridge that goes across to Hay. And you've got this walking track, and it's actually a good walking track. And we're going to follow it and see where we go. Here's the main bridge heading from south to north into Hay. And I'd say that when it was flooded here not so long ago, well, you can see where the watermark's up on there. It would have been pretty high. We would have been underwater here. So this is the old bridge turntable here. Actually, it was made back in 1874 when it was actually opened. And so what happened was, it would actually spin sideways here and spin around, and that'll let the pedal stems come through. But it's a fairly big piece of machinery, because you'd have the bits of bridge coming out either side here, and it had to be pretty strong. Yeah, that's pretty impressive. You can actually see here where the floods have come back up too, so it would have been underwater again. So here's a survey tree blaze back in 1868. The surveyors would have actually blazed this tree, and you can actually still see here, there's one, and maybe a 6 or an 8 there. So that's pretty special. So there's Norman and William, both locals of Hay. Both survived the war and came back and lived and died. The old reservoir just a few k's out of Cobar. It's free. There's quite a few caravans here tonight. It was freezing last night. It was frosty, very, very frosty, and we've got the sun coming up over there, which is really good. So we'll get some good solar today. We're going to spend the day in town checking it out, and it's going to rain tomorrow, so we'll actually hit the road tomorrow, travel while it's raining. But no wind, sunshine, very nice. I'm here at Cobar, and we're going to have a look out the information centre and museum. There's quite an impressive looking building here. It looks like they've got a fair bit of machinery out the back there, and over there it looks like some sort of mine. So we're at the Cobar Information Centre, and we've got Sam here. Hi Sam.
Hi.
So tell us, we're here for a day. What could we do in a day here?
So there's a couple things you can see and do around Cobar. Right now you're at the Great Cobar Museum, which has all of our history up to the 1930s.
Oh wow.
Which you can see. Across the street from the museum, we have our Miners Memorial and Heritage Park. So
Yes.
that's a short tunnel you can walk through
Okay.
for a memorial for the 171 men that have died in our
Oh wow.
mines.
Yes.
And then my machinery on the outside of the park.
Yep.
There's the Cobar sign where you can get a photo.
Yep.
And you can drive up to the Fort Burke Hill Lookout, which
Oh, wow.
is an open cut gold mine you
Yes.
can look down into. There's also the Sound Chapel, which is an art and music installation by a composer named Georges Lentz.
Yes.
He decided to build it out here because he liked the water tank that it is built in. It plays a 24-hour continuous loop of music.
Yep.
It gets louder and quieter
All right.
depending on when you visit.
Okay, I'll put a bit of a cut into that. Now this looks like it's a bit of a museum here too, so tell me about this actual building. Where did it come from?
So this building was the original administration building for the Great Cobar copper mine,
Yes.
which this building was constructed in 1912.
Mm-hmm.
The discovery of copper was in 1870, right where we're standing.
Right.
It was passed through a variety of different owners until 1906, a group called the English Syndicate decided to buy the mine. So they wanted to tear down the total surface workings and rebuild it.
Okay.
If you look up here, this is a photo of what the mine used to look like over 110 years ago.
That's huge.
So that is from around 1909.
Yes.
The mine shut down in 1919 after the First World War because the international price of copper crashed. They moved to a smaller smelter at the CSA mine, but that shut down in 1920 on the very same day as this mine because a fire started underground and it lasted for 16 years.
16 years. Huh.
So from 1921 to 1933, Cobar went from a population of 10,000 people to 1,000.
Oh wow, yes. And so you've got information here for caravanners and travellers where they can stay?
So we have town information over here.
Yes.
We have our highway and caravan guides on the side of the desk.
Oh yeah, let's have a look at those. Yep.
And then we have our other towns information over on this wall.
Oh, good. No, you're pretty well stocked.
Yes.
Okay, well Sam, you're pretty knowledgeable and thank you so much and we'll go and do some more exploring.
Okay.
Well done, mate.
I hope
Cheers.
you have a nice day.
Thank you. So we're in the Cobar Information Centre and we're just having a look around the museum here. It's $10 to get in or $5 for a senior or concession. And there's lots of good stuff here. They've got a lot of stuff from the history. They've got some First Nations information here. I'm not going to film a lot of it because I think you need to come here and have a look yourself. But yeah, very interesting. Lots of really good stuff to see. There's a good display upstairs. We've got some sort of Coolgardie safe here. Out the back we've got lots more machinery, and up here it looks like we've got an old railway carriage, so we'll go and explore that. So we're just opposite the information centre, which is over there, and we've got all these old industrial relics around here, including a poppet head and shaft over here. We've even got a bell tower here. This is just symbolic of all the bell towers that they had in the day when someone ended up getting killed or there's an emergency on. So this is just a little tunnel to show or pay respects to some of the miners who actually lost their lives over the years. Down here we've got a wall from current to past death, so obviously a lot more people died in the earlier days here, and it actually goes right through to current day mining. So this guy here died in 2017, so hopefully not, but there's space for other people, but hopefully that'll stay empty. We've got a lot of information here too. And we've got a battery that actually crushed the ore. We've got our steam engine here that would have pulleys going to the battery to keep the battery working. We've got a gentleman here who's actually using his drill to drill a hole, probably to put explosives in and to blow it up so then they could get the ore to the surface to then put into the battery. So this is the Chesney No. 1 head frame. Basically it's been put in the park from its original location, but it gives you an idea of how it was all set up. We had the cables there that actually raised and lowered the buckets as they went down the miners. So the miners would be in this one here going down, and their ore would be in the one next to it. So those little wheelbarrow trolleys would be pulled in and out with ore, and yeah, it's would have seen some gold coming out of there, and a few men as well. And this here, I believe, I think would be to maybe empty water from the mine if there was water. Fort Burke Lookout you can actually see the open cut mine down there that's still in operation today. Over here you can actually see the shafts that come through from the early 1900s, where they actually would have had some sort of poppet head and coming right down, following that quartz all the way down. But it's pretty impressive. This has all happened in like 10 odd years. It's so you can actually come up here and have a look.
The new Cobar mine.
It's the new Cobar mine. The new Cobar mine is right over there. You can see the poppet head, and actually there's even another poppet head even further over. You can probably see. So there's lots of information here about the operation and how they dug down and found it, from the new times to the old times here. What do you reckon, Joey?
It's pretty impressive, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very deep.
So we've just come out of town on the western side, Cobar. We found the Cobar sign, which is just there. We're heading to the Sound Chapel. So Cobar Sound Chapel, just after the sign on the right, and before the 110 sign. So it's a gravel road down here. It's about 1.5 k's. Let's go and see what's down here. So after about 1.5 k's, we come across, looks like some sort of big silo or tank, which is the Sound Chapel. So we come up to it here. Sound Chapel, welcome. Okey doke, just parking at the back. So here's the Sound Chapel. Oh, Joe, you got the key? Yeah. Okay, so that's the key. You pay $100 deposit for, and you get your $100 back. And it's the key that opens this lock. So let's have a look. I'll do this one too. Is this one open? Just pull it. No. Sure, this is not a jail. Oh wow. This is day 4 of our adventure, and we're just about to leave the old reservoir at Cobar. As you can see, it's raining, and it actually rained all last night. Luckily, we didn't get submersed in water, but we're all packed up, ready to go, and we're heading up to Burke. So I think it's still going to be raining there, but we'll get some provisions in Burke and then head out onto the Darling River. I believe there's a good camp there, as long as it's not too slippery and wet. But that's what it's like when you're camping. You just never know until you get there. We'll catch ya. You got the key, Joe?
No, I thought you had it. Impressive, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very deep.
Do you reckon your ring came from here?
Which ring?
Your gold ring. What ring do you think I'm talking about?
I don't know.
No, well, I'll tell you what. If you're jumping down there, you'd lose your ring. That's pretty impressive.
That was good, Graham.
You can't see much of that there, can you?
Where's Wally?
No, memory card's
There's Wally, I found him.